Uh, we service our 5 county range, so Monroe County as well as the surrounding counties. We provide free one-on-one advisement to entrepreneurs, small business owners. We're very proud. We have projection software to offer where we can do 3 to 5 year projections, marketing, government contracting, procurement contracts with some private corporations. So we have a world of resources, and also we are just so proud to have so many incredible partners as well. Without further, oh, and one other thing, I am going to drop our website right into the chat box. So if you're interested in receiving advisement from us, you can go right to our website and sign up. We also have some really fantastic large networking events, webinars, some, really great seminars coming up. I would encourage all of you to follow us on our social media, Brockport SBDC. We are on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, so you can get the latest of our upcoming events that we have planned. Without further ado, I'm very proud to be introducing William Whitley. He is an esteemed program coordinator for the Reimagine program at Urban League of Rochester. Under his guidance, the program has blossomed as a beacon for entrepreneurs, providing invaluable insights into business fundamentals, success stories, and scalable growth. Whether you're planting the seeds of a new startup or nurturing an existing venture, William's expertise in this program's resources pave the way for businesses to thrive in today's competitive landscape. So we are so excited to have William join us today. So William, you take it away.
All right, awesome. So it's definitely an incredible pleasure to be here with you all today. I know it is Wednesday, so it's like the middle of the week. So I feel as though like this is like a perfect day. So like these business Wednesdays, workshops are definitely at a good time because I'm telling you, I try to, run workshops on Monday and no one shows up. So this is good. And that being said, we are going to kind of dive into, basically AI, right? And I'm sure a lot of us have definitely heard of ChatGPT. If you haven't, ChatGPT is essentially artificial intelligence. It essentially allows you to type in basically an input and it gives you an output in probably less than a second, right? And so that being said, really when it comes to AI, it's not like AI is anything really new. It's just that it's being enhanced every single day. And we're going to kind of dive into essentially, first of all, what AI is, and then we're kind of going to go from there. And towards the end, we're definitely going to get into actually creating a full-blown GPT. So here we go. All right. So creating a GPT with OpenAI. All right. So what is artificial intelligence? So artificial intelligence basically refers to the development of computer systems that can perform tasks that typically require human intelligence. These tasks include learning, reasoning, problem solving, understanding natural language, speech recognition, and visual perception. So AI systems aim to mimic cognitive functions and adapt to different situations, improving their performance over time, right? And so when we're talking about a GPT, so basically a GPT stands for Generative Pre-trained Transformer, right? And I know that's a mouthful, but trust me, it's a lot simpler than it sounds. So it basically refers to a type of artificial intelligence language model that uses a transformer architecture. GPT models developed by OpenAI are pre-trained on large data sets containing parts of the internet and other diverse sources of text. So these models are designed to generate human-like text based on the input they receive. The pre-trained aspects means that the model learns from vast amounts of data before being fine-tuned for specific tasks. So that being said, when it comes to artificial intelligence, there are so many different really, really awesome companies out there that actually use artificial intelligence every single day, right? And so when we're talking about artificial intelligence from even like the movie landscape, there are literally companies out there that can quite literally allow you to create videos and create movies if you want to with them, right? And so here are a couple of different companies. I'm not going to read them all, but there's a company called Descript. So it essentially allows you to edit videos by editing the script, right? Wondershare, Filmora, Runway, Cast Magic. And now let's move over even into customer service. So Artisan AI literally allows you to create a digital worker called an artisan. And I know that's a little bit scary for some people because we are literally getting into like that frontier where quite literally, honestly, robots might be taking over human jobs pretty soon. It's the reality. But literally, this company creates AI digital workers, right? And so, what does that look like? It looks like an AI digital receptionist, right? It looks like quite literally what it sounds like, right? Like actual workers with AI. So, also Salesforce, if you have a company, you probably heard of Salesforce. We definitely use Salesforce for some things, but Salesforce AI, right? And basically, Salesforce AI is basically for customer service to create seamless conversational, predictive, and generative AI experiences for your agents and customers, right? Zendesk is another one, and also Intercom, right? And so when we even dive into like gaming development, there are other companies out there that use AI as well. Epic Games is a huge one, right? With Unreal Engine. And Unreal Engine is basically like the world's most open and advanced real-time 3D creation tool for photoreal visuals and immersive experiences. And if you are at all into like creating movies, if you're ever into gaming design, I definitely recommend checking out Unreal Engine and even learning that and really just adding that to, your repertoire of things to learn, because that is going to be a huge frontier in the future. So a couple of others are Earkick. So Earkick is basically an AI-powered platform that measures and improves your mental health in real time. Promethean AI, there's so many different ones, right? And so even when we move into mental health services, we have Uper, we have Kythera AI, InWorld. There are so many different companies out here that actually use AI, and these are just, a small amount out of the thousands, right? And so really quick, I want to kind of go through some segments of this video because OpenAI quite literally not even a couple of weeks ago just released GPT 4o, right? And so GPT 4o is essentially an enhanced version of GPT 4, and essentially it has a lot of really, really cool aspects of it that I definitely believe I would be very, very remiss if I did not share this. So that being said, definitely sit back, enjoy the video. I'm gonna be bouncing around a little bit here just for the sake of time. But that being said, definitely check this out.
Hi, I'm Barrett.
Hey, I'm Mark. So one of the key capabilities we're really excited to share with you today is real-time conversational speech. Let's just get a demo fired up. So I'm taking out a phone. If you are wondering about this wire, it's so we have consistent internet. And if you see, there's this little icon on the bottom right of the ChatGPT app, and this will open up GPT-4o's audio capabilities. Hey, ChatGPT, I'm Mark. How are you?
Oh, Mark. I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. How about you?
Hey, so I'm on stage right now. I'm doing a live demo, and frankly, I'm feeling a little bit nervous. Can you help me calm my nerves a little bit?
Oh, you're doing a live demo right now? That's awesome. Just take a deep breath. And remember, you're the expert here.
I like that suggestion. Let me try a couple deep breaths. Can you give me feedback on my breaths? Okay, here I go.
Whoa, slow down a bit there. Mark, you're not a vacuum cleaner. Breathe in for a count of 4.
Okay, let me try again. So I'm gonna breathe in deeply, and then breathe out.
For 4, and then exhale slowly.
Okay, I'll try again. Breathing in, and breathe out.
That's it. How do you feel?
I feel a lot better. Thank you so much. Calm down a little bit. Can you end the story, but do it in a singing voice?
And so Byte found another robot friend, and they lived circuitly ever after.
Thank you so much.
I definitely feel a lot more relaxed.
you've just seen the voice capabilities, but we also want to show you the vision capabilities as the model can also see the whole world around us.
Okay. So let me boot up ChatGPT. Hey, ChatGPT.
Hello there. How's it going?
It's going really well. Today, I'd really like your help solving a math problem.
I'm all ears. What math problem can I help you tackle today?
So I'm going to write down a linear equation on a sheet of paper and I'll show you. And then I'd love your help working me through it. But importantly, don't tell me the solution, just help give me hints along the way.
Got it. Oh,
So, ChatGPT, what equation did I write down there?
I see it now. You wrote down 3x plus 1 equals 4.
Yep,
Let's work-
exactly. So what's the first step I should take to try to solve this?
The first step is to get all the terms with x on one side and the constants on the other side. So what do you think we should do with that plus 1?
Okay, I'm going to try to subtract 1 from both sides and then I'll see what I get.
Great idea.
Okay, so ChatGPT, this is what I ended up with. How does this look?
Spot on. Now you've isolated the term with x on one side, and it looks like 3x equal 3. What do you think we should do next to solve for x?
I'm not sure. Can you give me another hint?
Of course. You have 3x, and you want to find the value of x. Think about what operation would undo multiplication.
Is it subtraction?
Close, but think of the opposite of multiplication, because 3x means 3 times x.
Okay, I think it's division. Let me try to divide both sides by 3 and let me see what I get.
Bingo! Go ahead and divide both sides by 3.
Yeah, honestly, I'm not pretty confident I can solve linear equations, but why would you ever need to use this in the real world? I'm really skeptical.
That's a fair question. Linear equations pop up in a lot of everyday situations, even if we don't realize it. For example, calculating expenses, planning travel, cooking, and even in business for profit and loss calculations. It's basically a way to solve problems where you need to find an unknown value. Plus,
Wow,
it's
okay. I have a lot of unknown values in my life. I'm totally convinced I'm going to learn math now.
I love that attitude. Math can definitely help solve some of life's mysteries. Whenever you're ready to dive into more math, I'm here for you. Anything else you'd like to tackle today?
So ChatGPT, I really love that you taught the value of math to my friend Mark. And I wrote one last thing I'd love if you could take a look at.
Of course. I'd love to see what you wrote. Show it to me whenever you're ready.
Okay, so this is what I wrote down. What do you see?
I see. I love ChatGPT. That's so sweet of you.
Yeah, well, I really appreciate all the help. So yeah, as we can see, yeah. Okay, and to give a bit of background on what's going on, so here we have a computer, and on the screen we have some code, and then the ChatGPT voice app is on the right. So ChatGPT will be able to hear me, but it can't see anything on the screen. So I'm going to highlight the code, Command C it, and then that will send it to ChatGPT. And then I'm going to talk about the code to ChatGPT. Hey, ChatGPT.
Hey there. How's it going?
Yeah, it's going really well. I was wondering if you could help me with a coding problem today.
Of course. I'd love to help you out. What's the coding problem you're dealing with?
Okay, I'm going to share with you some code. 1 second.
Sure thing. Take your time.
Okay, so I just shared some code with you. Could you give me a really brief 1-sentence description of what's going on in the code?
This code fetches daily weather data for a specific location and time period, smooths the temperature data using a rolling average, annotates a significant weather event on the resulting plot, and then displays the plot with the average, minimum, and maximum temperatures over the year.
Awesome, thanks so much. And in the code, there's this function foo. Can you describe to me what the plot would look like if I had versus didn't have this function?
Sure. The function foo xy takes in a data frame x containing temperature data and a window size y for calculating the rolling mean. It smooths the average temperature, minimum temperature, and maximum temperature columns by applying a rolling mean over the specified window. With the foo function, the plot would show smoother temperature lines because the rolling mean reduces the noise or fluctuations in the data.
Awesome.
This makes
Thanks so much. So yeah, I definitely will want to apply this function. And so I'm going to generate the plot and then show it to you. Give me 1 second.
Absolutely. Take your time. I'm excited to see the plot when you're ready.
Yeah. So far, ChatGPT has only been able to see the code. And now I'm going to run it, and then I'll use the vision capabilities of the ChatGPT desktop app so it can actually see everything going on the screen as well. Okay, ChatGPT. I'm sharing with you the plot now. I'm wondering if you can give me a really brief one-sentence overview of what you see.
The plot displays smoothed average, minimum, and maximum temperatures throughout 2018, with a notable annotation marking a big rainfall event in late September.
Fantastic. I have another question for you. Which months do you see the hottest temperatures, and roughly what temperatures do those correspond to?
The hottest temperatures occur around July and August. The maximum temperature during these months is roughly between 25 degrees and 30 degrees, 77 degrees Fahrenheit to 86 degrees Fahrenheit.
What's going on with the y-axis? Is this in Celsius or Fahrenheit?
The y-axis is in Celsius. The temperatures are labeled accordingly, such as average temperature, minimum temperature, and maximum temperature.
Yeah. So as we can see, not only can ChatGPT help me solve very easy linear algebra equations that I need help with, it can also interact with code bases and see the outputs of plots and everything like this going on a computer.
A few minutes ago, we asked the live audience on X to submit few requests for what they would like us to translation. Mark, you want to try this one?
Sure. Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
Yeah.
I speak Italian, so we can
okay,
just
cool.
do English, Italian.
Let's try to do English, Italian. Sure, let's do it. Hey, ChatGPT, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Thanks for asking. How about you? How's your day going?
I'm doing great. So I would like you to function as a translator. I have a friend here who only speaks Italian, and I only speak English. And every time you hear English, I want you to translate it to Italian. And if you hear Italian, I want you to translate it back to English. Is that good?
Perfetto.
Mark, io mi chiedo se le balene potessero parlare, cosa ci direbbero?
Mike, she wonders if whales could talk, what would they tell us?
They might ask, how do we solve linear equations?
Potrebbero chiederci come risolviamo le equazioni lineari.
Sicuramente sì.
Certainly, yes.
Great. Looks like it works.
All right. So the next one is from Burrito John 78, who asks, can you tell what you're feeling just by looking at your face? Barrett, you want to give this one a try?
Absolutely. Let's try it out. Hey, ChatGPT.
Hey there. What's up? How can I brighten your day today?
Okay, yeah, so I'm going to show you a selfie of what I look like, and then I'd like you to try to see what emotions I'm feeling based on how I'm looking.
Sounds like a fun challenge. Go ahead and show me that selfie, and I'll put my emotional detective hat on.
Okay, so here's me. So what kind of emotions do you think I'm feeling?
It seems like I'm looking at a picture of a wooden surface.
Oh, you know what? That
what-
was the thing I sent you before. Don't worry, I'm not actually a table. Okay, so take another look.
That makes more sense. There we go. It looks like you're feeling pretty happy and cheerful, with a big smile and maybe even a touch of excitement. Whatever's going on, it seems like you're in a great mood. Care to share the source of those good vibes?
Yeah, no, the reason I'm in a really good mood is because we were doing a presentation showcasing how useful and amazing you are.
Oh, stop it. You're making me blush.
Amazing. Well, that's it for today on live demos. As you
So who's a little freaked out? Who's freaked out? Who's happy? Who's excited? Who's scared? I see that there's a lot of people that literally, I'm telling you, this stuff is going to change the world, right? And to be honest with you, it's such a testament to how much technology changes and how rapidly it changes quickly, right? Because quite literally, when we even booked this this specific workshop, OpenAI didn't even have this feature, right? So this is something completely different in a span of maybe even a couple of months, right? And so it's so important for us to all definitely stay up to date with really what's going on, because man, like the next couple of years are going to be such an innovative time. And so when we really look at like the product development timeline of things like AI and really just the internet, I don't know if you guys kind of remember, maybe I'm dating myself, you know, I might look young, I'm a little bit older than I look, but that being said, back in 1994, who remembers like Netscape at all? So I remember Netscape was this thing, you know, you got on, it was this humongous search. It took like an hour to search something with it because, you know, at the time we didn't have like high speed spectrum internet, we had dial up, right? So Netscape literally launched in December 1994, right? It featured a search button, which was crazy at the time, and its toolbar basically allowed users to perform searches using the Netscape search engine, right? So this really marked the early instance of basically web browsing and provided built-in search capabilities, right? And if we kind of even fast forward to 2010, we see Siri, right? The virtual assistant that was first released as a standalone app for the iOS on the App Store on February 5th, 2010. And then also, as we know, everyone has Siri now, especially if you have an Apple phone. Apple later acquired Siri and basically the company behind the development of Siri in April 2010, right? And so basically Siri was integrated into the iPhone with the release of iOS 5 on October 4th, 2011. And I don't even know what iOS we're at now. I just keep updating my phone. So even in 2024, we have Moxie. And if you guys aren't familiar with Moxie, Moxie is basically a robot that Embodied makes, which is a company out of San Francisco. And basically that robot quite literally talks to your children, right? And it's like a social emotional robot. I kid you not, I can't make this stuff up. This is literally here right now. And also we have other humanoid robots and other humanoid robot companies that are literally actually starting to become way more accessible to the public through the mainstream media, right? And then obviously in 2030, who knows what we will have. But this right here is advanced is literally OpenAI in the video that we just saw. This is like the flip phone of basically what 2030 is going to be. Right. And I don't know if you guys remember the BlackBerry, the flip phone. At the time, we thought that was like the most amazing thing ever. Or, you know, even if you might be a little bit older, I remember the phones in the cars and things of that nature. Quite literally, like this stuff is going to change the economy. It's going to change the landscape of business. It's going to change every single industry, whether they want it to change or not. It's just a reality. So we definitely have to stay up to date with this, which is why this specific workshop is so important, because at the end of the day, we definitely want to make sure that people are equipped for the future. So basically, if you guys aren't familiar with OpenAI, they are the company behind ChatGPT and ChatGPT 4o, what we just saw basically presented in that video. And so OpenAI is basically a AI research company, and their mission is to ensure that artificial intelligence basically benefits all of humanity, right? And so that being said, we are going to go ahead and get started and pop right over here to OpenAI. All right, so I'm going to stop the share really quick and go over here so we can get started here. All right, so who here, maybe you can drop it in the chat. Who here has ever actually used ChatGPT before, or ChatGPT maybe 3, 3.5, 4 before? All right, I see definitely a couple of hands raised there, which is awesome. 3.5 and 4, love it, love it, love it. All right. So that being said, ChatGPT 4, obviously, which a lot of us are probably familiar with, 4.0 literally just came out a couple of weeks ago. But essentially ChatGPT 4 is kind of what, you know, your average ChatGPT user is probably going to be familiar with here. It's a little bit more enhanced than the 3.5, obviously, but the 4.0 is the newest and most advanced model. Obviously, it's updated. It does a lot more, as you could see from the video. But essentially, what we are about to do right now is basically create an actual GPT, right? As we kind of went through before, what a GPT is, this is actually going to essentially possibly make you some money, either that or really streamline something for you, especially if you are a business owner. And what I mean by that is this. We're going to go over here to create. And quite literally, if you have used ChatGPT, you can search in ChatGPT basically whatever you want, right? As long as it's not like illegal, you can basically search it, right? But this is an opportunity to literally create your own GPT, right? Basically create your own AI, right? And how does that work? It works literally as simple as this, right? Just like AI, how we were presented in that video, how easy it is to really just interact and talk with AI. Creating a GPT is really that simple as well, right? And as long as our internet holds up and as long as there's no crashes on OpenAI's side, I know there was a little bit of a mishap yesterday. People weren't really able to get on OpenAI and use it as much yesterday, but we should be good. So basically, it's as simple as literally clicking create or clicking configure, right? So for the sake of this, I'm going to do the actual create just because it's a little bit easier, especially if it's the first time that we're doing this. And Michael asked the question, can you build a GPT in 4? Yes, you definitely can. And 4.0, you don't necessarily have to have it installed. It's actually just there automatically, especially if you have GPT-4. So that being said, all we're going to do is basically type in what we want to make, right? And I definitely want to get some suggestions because, to be honest with you, if I create a GPT, it's going to be on something wild, trying to make $1 billion. So, so that being said, is there anything that you guys would like to create a GPT on, right? And it could be anything. And the things that I've definitely seen in the past are maybe people creating a GPT on how to, I was literally just going to say that, Gina, on how to literally write a business plan. I've seen people create GPTs on marketing and really just being like an ultimate guide to like social media marketing, because I don't know about you, but I personally don't like posting things on social media, right? But I do need some help with that. So like actually getting, some wording behind that, that would be awesome. There are different things like even recipes. So people have created GPTs around recipes as well. I mean, literally the sky is the limit as long as it's legal, obviously. But I just want a couple of suggestions, and we're just gonna go with one of those. I see we have one suggestion about creating a business plan for marketing for an IV hydration business. Why libraries are important. Okay. And let's probably get like one more suggestion if we can, and then we're gonna go with whatever one is basically the most voted on here. So this says an organization thing, like talking to someone you have started working on and need follow-up depending on other incoming components. I see for fun, improving your golf swing. I need that too. So marketing a new functional medicine business, marketing plan for cookbook and seasonal line catering, like project management, online store assistant. We're getting a lot of them coming in now. Instructions for creating a catering company. All right, so I'm going to randomly pick 4 of these, and I definitely want to hear from you guys because I can create these all day, but which one we should actually go with. All right. And so really quick, I'm going to start here with a marketing plan for cookbook and seasonal line catering. So that's going to be number 1. And definitely, if you guys can go in the chat here, I'm going to basically type these in. And then if you want to go with it, just basically like it. Okay. All right. Next thing we're gonna go with is for fun, improving your golf swing. All right. Instructions for creating a company. And let me go up here. And let's go with why libraries are important. All right. So just like before, if you are interested in any of these, please like those, give those a thumbs up, and then we'll see in about maybe 15 seconds or so which one has the most likes. If you aren't able to like it right now because you're at work or whatever reason, I completely understand. But definitely if you guys can, please vote here and now. All right. So I see the marketing has the most likes right now currently. All right. Number 2 right now is instructions for creating a catering company. All right. I'm going to give it like maybe 5 more seconds or so. All right. So number 2 is the creating instructions for creating a catering company. Number 1 right now is the marketing plan for a cookbook and seasoning line catering. All right. So let me pop up here. All right. So Latifia. All right. So Latifia, you are going to be basically my virtual assistant here today, or my human assistant. Because since it was your idea, I got to put you on the spot here. Can you explain that idea a little bit more for us so we can understand this and create this GPT correctly? You can go ahead and unmute yourself if you want to.
Sure. So I have a catering company. We produce our own seasoning line as well as sauces. Um, so right now we're just in the process of, like I said, marketing and being able to distribute and find our right target audience.
Okay. All right. Awesome. So basically, it's a catering company and you have your own seasoning line, did you say?
Yeah. Yes.
All right. Awesome. All right. And do you have a cookbook currently?
So I use AI earlier in the beginning of the year, and I did put together a few recipes.
Okay, awesome. So you're way ahead of the curve here. All right, awesome. So what we're going to do is we're going to essentially create a GPT around this concept. All right. We're going to kind of keep it a little bit general just for the sake of this presentation. But obviously for you, Latifia, if you want to do this yourself, you can definitely do this yourself and kind of more or less specify some things, specifically for your actual company. What I mean by that is I'll kind of explain a little bit later on, but there are definitely some things that you can definitely customize to actually make this work specifically for your specific business. But for the sake of this, because we do have a lot of people on the call, let's kind of make it more general. And we're going to do a marketing plan around basically a catering company, right? So we're essentially going to create a GPT for catering companies. Okay. Does that sound okay?
Yep, that's fine. Thank you.
All right. Awesome. All right, so let's get started here. All right, this is exciting. All right, so basically it says, "Hi, I will help you build a new GPT." You can say something like, "Make a creative who helps generate visuals for new products," or make a software engineer who helps format my code. All right, and so basically what I'm going to type in is, please make a GPT that helps market for catering companies. And I'm going to put in parentheses food-based. All right. Let's see what it gives us. All right. And it's basically saying, if you guys can't read this, I'll try and read as many of these as possible. So it's saying basically, let's choose a name for this GPT. How about Catering Marketing Pro? Does that sound good to you? And I'm going to say yes. All right. So now it's saying, great, I'll create an initial profile picture for Catering Marketing Pro. Let's generate one now. And so basically right now, AI is actually generating a exclusive picture for this actual GPT. All right. And so right now, this is the picture that it gave us. And it's saying, here's the initial picture for Catering Marketing Pro. Do you like it? Or would you like to make any changes? Now, personally, I don't really like that picture. So I'm going to say, no, I don't like it. Please give me another example. All right. And so basically it's going to take that input and automatically generate another profile picture for me. Right. And so quite literally with any of these questions that it's asking, you can either say yes, no, you can literally tell it whatever you want to, and it will fine tune it according to essentially what you are giving it as an input. Right. And so essentially, really quick. So what assurance is there that this image isn't based off of a copyrighted image? So actually, Philip, based off the question that you just asked, all of this stuff is generated by AI, right? And so that being said, obviously, like it's taking an amalgamation of essentially everything that's on the internet, but all of these images are actually quite literally one of a kind. So no issues about copywriting. You're good. So that being said, AI is saying here, here's another profile picture for Catering Marketing Pro. How does this one look? And I'm just going to say, I like it. All right. So that being said, it's now giving me great. Now let's refine the context to ensure Catering Marketing Pro meets your needs. What should be emphasized or avoided in its responses? All right. And so essentially, I'm going to say this. The emphasis should be on creating very, I would say, leading edge marketing material. Yes, you are right, Laura. Catering is spelled wrong. But for the sake of this, I want to kind of keep it moving. I'll be super respectful of people's time. But like I said before, with any of these inputs, what you can definitely do is quite literally go back and change it. So even if I wanted to change that right now, I could literally change that. So coming back down to the next input, it's saying, next, how do you want Catering Marketing Pro to interact with users? Should it be formal, friendly, humorous, or something else? And I'm going to say friendly. All right. And so it's updating that GPT currently right now. And it's saying Catering Marketing Pro is now ready. You can try it out in the preview to see how it performs. If you have any refinements or additional requests, feel free to let me know. How does that sound? All right. I'm just going to say sounds good. All right. And so over here in the preview to the right-hand side, this is essentially our preview of our actual GPT, right? It's got our logo, it's got the actual title, and then under here, it's got a quick little understanding of what this is about, right? So a marketing assistant for food-based catering companies. Now, obviously, if this were like a GPT that I was trying to like actually, put out to the masses and allow, other people to kind of like utilize via a link, I would definitely refine this. 100%, you're right, Lori, I would definitely make sure that catering is 100% spelled right, especially if I want to make money from this. But that being said, I'm just going to go ahead and ask it a quick question. And I'm just going to go ahead and go with one of these random questions or sample questions that it has here. So I'm just going to go ahead and click this, and it's automatically, hopefully, going to give me an answer here. All right. So the question was, how can I effectively promote seasonal menus, right? And so it's saying promoting seasonal menus effectively can significantly boost your catering business by attracting new customers and retaining existing ones. Here are some strategies to consider. Ooh, popped me off there. So this was a little bit of an issue that ChatGPT was having yesterday, where the AI was kind of getting a little bit messed up there. And I sincerely apologize for this, but it is what it is. It happens. All right. So I'm going to try this one more time. Catering a GPT for marketing catering companies. So if you guys are kind of wondering what just happened there, so yesterday, actually, OpenAI had like an overload, right? And so essentially they were crashing because there were so many people literally using OpenAI at the same time, where they actually had to essentially just shut it off for a while, right? And I hope that today they ultimately solve that problem. But that being said, seeing as though I just kind of ran into that issue again, I don't know if they've solved it yet. And so I sincerely apologize about this, but all right. All right. So essentially what this is saying is this GPT assistant, and this is essentially the same thing. I don't know if I have to go through this again, but it's basically saying this GPT will assist in marketing catering companies by providing creative ideas, promotional strategies, and content creation tips tailored to the catering industry. It will focus on helping users craft compelling messages, design engaging campaigns, and utilize social media effectively, right? So this GPT will also offer advice on branding, customer engagement, and leveraging customer reviews. And so essentially it's saying, great, now we need to choose a name for your GPT. How about Catering Marketing Pro? And I'm going to say that works. All right, same thing as before. Let's create a profile picture for Catering Marketing Pro. And it's going to generate another image for us. All right. So it's saying, here's the initial picture for Catering Marketing Pro. Do you like it, or would you like to make any changes? All right. So to be honest with you, I like that a lot better than the one before. That's for sure. So I'm just going to say I like it. All right. And it's asking me, what specific goals do you have for how Catering Marketing Pro should assist users? I'm just going to essentially say it should give leading edge marketing advice. All right. And it is updating that GPT. All right. Now it's essentially telling me, now let's discuss any specific things you want Catering Marketing Pro to emphasize or avoid when giving advice. I'm just going to say nothing. Nothing to emphasize or avoid. All right. And it seems as though ChatGPT keeps crashing here a little bit. Hopefully they get this fixed. I know that, when you're dealing with a tech company, your server has always got to be working. So that being said, I don't know if you guys remember, Facebook has definitely crashed before. Twitter has crashed before. Now it's OpenAI's turn, I guess. But that being said, we're going to keep trekking and we're going to try and get as far as we possibly can. So that being said, essentially, it's saying, got it. Now let's ensure GPT offers clear, helpful, and relevant advice. Should it ask for clarification when a user's request is unclear, or should it fill in any missing details and provide an answer based on the assumption? I'm just going to put yes. All right. And it's asking me, how do you want Catering Marketing Pro to interact with others or with users, excuse me? Should it have a friendly, professional, or any specific tone? I'm just going to put friendly. All right, so our GPT is now ready. Please try it out in the preview menu and let me know if you need any adjustments or additional features. How can I assist you further? So for right now, hopefully this works this time. And I'm just going to go ahead and click one of these sample questions here. So I'm pretty sure this sample question is, how can I improve my catering company's brand? All right. And so it's essentially going to give us some information on improving our brand. All right. And so I'm going to read some of this content here, because to be honest with you, a lot of the advice that we'll be giving from this is going to be legitimately leading edge, right? And so that being said, I know someone actually typed in the chat earlier that they're trying to kind of understand why someone would want to create a GPT versus using more general ChatGPT, like the 4.0 version or the 4 or 3.5. And here's why. Because quite literally, if you have an actual brand, you can quite literally utilize this specifically to actually make money from OpenAI. So say you have like a GPT that has to just do with marketing in general, and millions and millions and millions and millions of people use it. You can actually quite literally receive residual income the more people utilize your actual GPT. So that's one reason. And also another reason is this, depending on the different type of company that you have, quite literally, this could be something specific and exclusive to your customers, right? So it's all about like different offerings and actually being able to stand out as far as like the industry standards, right? And so say if you had like a company that had to do with something like movies, like, and so you wanted to make sure that, like your movie company, or say you own like a movie theater, and you wanted to make sure that people were constantly being updated with different type of movies that you had going on, either that or keeping them in the loop when it comes to different movies, different titles, different actors, because there are movie buffs out there, right? You could create a GPT around that, and people could use that exclusively to kind of learn more about movies versus actually going to Google and searching it and having to like siphon through all the different websites just to find that information, right? And that's just one example, just a random one. But ultimately, I definitely believe is, depending on the business, what you're able to kind of offer with an actual exclusive GPT for your business, either that or your personal brand, can definitely help you stand out away from the competitors. So that being said, let's kind of go over what our GPT gave us. So the question was, how can I improve my catering company's brand image? So essentially it says improving your catering company's brand image involves several key strategies, from enhancing your visual identity to ensuring exceptional customer experiences. Here are some steps you can take. So number one, refine your visual identity, logo and design. Update your logo to be modern and reflective of your brand values. Ensure your color scheme, fonts, and overall design are consistent across all platforms. So your website, create a user-friendly, visually appealing website that showcases your services, menus, and testimonials. Include high-quality images of your food and events. Packaging, invest in attractive branded packaging for your food deliveries. This can leave a lasting impression on your clients. So number two, enhance customer experience. Customer service, train your staff to provide exceptional customer service from the first point of contact to the event execution. Personalization, offer personalized services to cater to the unique needs of each client, making their event feel special and tailored. Build a strong online presence, social media. Use platforms like Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn to showcase your work. Post regularly using high quality photos and engaging captions. Share behind the scenes content, client testimonials, and upcoming events. SEO and content marketing. Optimize your websites for search engines to increase visibility. Start a blog where you share catering tips, recipes, and success stories from past events. So as you can see, it's literally giving us, from leveraging customer reviews and testimonials, engaging with the community, it's giving us a whole spiel of different things that you can do, like from the marketing perspective, to literally enhance the success of your business, right? Even down to offering unique and memorable experiences, which is definitely something very, very interesting, right? So like creating special menus, right? Like creating themed menus or seasonal offerings to keep your services fresh and exciting, or even interactive experiences. So it says here, incorporate live cooking stations, food demonstrations, or tastings at events to engage guests and make your catering services memorable, right? Even down to being consistent, having consistent branding across all touch points, right? And that's important as well. And so this literally is given us a whole detailed understanding of how to help market an actual catering business. And this is not bad advice. This is actually very good advice. So that being said, you can kind of do this with essentially whatever, as long as it's legal, right? With literally whatever you want, right? So you can literally even configure a GPT as well, right? So we did this the easy way by just basically clicking create. But if I had gone over here to configure, I could have literally typed in the name I wanted, the description I wanted, the instructions I wanted, the conversation starters. I can take one in, I can take one out if I want to. And this is the real nitty gritty part of it, is that I can actually upload files. All right. And so for those that, are kind of familiar with just, basic uploading of files to any platform online, you can actually upload whatever you want and actually have this GPT pull information from that data, right? So say if I had like my own ebook on catering, or I had like my own recipe book for this specific business, I could literally upload that recipe book or my own ebook using upload files, and it will quite literally sit there and actually, if I asked it questions about whatever, it would actually pull not only information from the internet to kind of help whoever uses this GPT have an understanding of a good answer, but it'll actually pull information from those uploaded files as well, right? And so that being said, that is a huge game changer, because to be honest with you, if I were a professor at like a college or something of that nature, and I wanted to create, I don't know, individualized syllabuses or syllabi for some course or something like that I was teaching, I could literally upload all of my lectures, especially if they were PDF or Word, and or if even if they were pictures, and quite literally pull information from that, so that if a student went in here and then just asked a question like, hey, when is this assignment due? And also, where can I get information on this assignment, right? What lecture was that a part of? It could literally just give them essentially the accurate answer and help them actually study a lot more effectively, right? And so those are some things that, are, definitely to come. I haven't really seen any professors do that yet, but there's definitely a lot of different use cases that can definitely innovate education and also higher learning for sure. So that being said, I want to go here to at least some of the questions here. And I appreciate you, Jennifer, for answering some of these questions while I'm kind of going through this. But I see here, does the content of those files now belong to ChatGPT? And I see that you have answered that as well. So that being said, I want to definitely open up the floor to any questions. I hope I made that as simple as possible. And I definitely appreciate you guys sticking through it. I know it did crash there a little bit. It happens with tech companies, but we will definitely for sure see some amazing innovations. Because remember, honestly, at the end of the day, like, this is the flip phone of what the smartphone is going to be in probably a next couple of years. And this stuff definitely is going to change a lot of industries. And to be honest with you, this stuff is definitely going to change how I specifically do business, and hopefully it changes how you do business as well. But that being said, are there any questions, or is there anything that I can answer? And if you do have any questions, please feel free to unmute yourself and go ahead and ask that specifically if you're interested. So Gina says, I've discovered that AI can generate a crochet pattern for a specific pattern. That's awesome.
So I've got a question.
Go ahead.
Cian, can you hear me?
Yep, I can.
Okay, perfect. So I was the one, so thank you for explaining about, why you'd use a specific, why you want to build a specific GPT versus using the general one. I was wondering if you could, I don't know if you know this, but speak to a little bit about how to monetize this. So you spoke about being able to use, your own built GPT for your own site or something. Like, so when you create something here, do you own it? Like, how does, I don't know, I don't even know what the question is. Like, how do you make it yours? How do you get money? Do you have to link to it? Do you say it's mine, no one else can use it? Like, if you can speak a little bit to those logistics.
Yeah, definitely. So it's literally as simple as publishing it. So if I go back here, and I'm just going to and I go over here, as you can see, like, I actually, in a past workshop I've done, these are actually published, right? And so these are quite literally, I believe at least one of them, Marketing Muse, is actually available for anyone to essentially use this, right? Do I make money from this? Absolutely not, right? Because there are probably millions of, like I said, everyone uses ChatGPT now, so I'm not surprised it is crashing eventually now. But that being said, quite literally, there are so many GPTs that people have made that you have to create something that is so unbelievably innovative, but then at the same time unbelievably useful, right, to a lot of different people for you to actually make money from this stuff. Now, am I privy to, like, how many people need to necessarily use it in order for you to make money from it? No. OpenAI is very kind of vague about that type of stuff. But that being said, I definitely do see the future for not only GPTs, but also being able to essentially create GPTs around being able to enhance robotics that will probably make you, a lot of money, or someone a lot of money. Because There's a lot of humanoid robots and stuff like that that are being developed, and I can definitely see, and even knowing an entrepreneur that's in this space, quite literally the backing of their robot is OpenAI, right? So it's really just as simple as basically publishing in that.
Mhm. Can
William,
you?
can I jump in here?
Go ahead.
We just got back from our Small Business Development Center staff training, and AI was a very popular topic, and we learned about the legislation and monetization of this. So people are using AI to generate coloring books, create, patterns, all kinds of things. The thing is that you can't own it. What we learned in our training was that there isn't any legislation around it, and you can't copyright it. You can't have ownership of it because it's pulling from all over servers that are generating this information. So you can use it to monetize, and Amazon KDP will allow you to generate books and print on demand kind of things like coloring books. You just can't copyright it. And they do ask, when you use a platform like Amazon KDP, what AI resources did you use to produce this? And they want to know very specifically, was it, ChatGPT, was it Midway, Discord, what are the platforms that you're using? So it's possible to monetize it. People are, creating narratives and little kids' books and all kinds of things that they're then putting up on Amazon. And you can do that and you can generate for it, but you cannot claim it as your own and you can't copyright it.
Right. That's interesting. Thank you.
Yeah. And this is like the weird gray area of like the time that we're actually in right now. It's crazy because I mean, I don't know if you guys are familiar with like cryptocurrency and all that stuff. I'm sure we've heard of it, but there are laws that are being literally blocked by our president, quite literally, on cryptocurrency. And honestly, AI is another one of those where it's like these laws have to constantly keep up with the innovation that is literally happening every single day. All right. And so Michael, okay. All right. So I appreciate this. I feel like people are answering questions for me on the chat. I love it. So yes, Stephen, you can definitely use your AI assistant for phone and text messaging as well. So it's definitely getting to that point because OpenAI literally just secured a deal with Apple. So as cool as Siri is, it's about to probably get a huge upgrade, which is kind of scary, but at the same time, it's definitely cool because your phone is going to be essentially your one-stop shop. I can definitely foresee a future where we might not necessarily need a laptop anymore, and where we can literally just do every single thing that we need straight from our phone or straight from VR even, right? So. And so Jennifer says it's rather depressing because people will no longer have an origin of thoughts. I definitely believe it's going to take a couple of generations to kind of get to that point. But as you can see with Moxie, the robot I was talking about before, this is literally going to be marketed towards socially, emotionally regulation for young children. That generation will definitely be privy to robots being in like their every single day interactions. So for them and their children's children, yeah, I could see that, Jennifer. Right. Are there any other questions or anything that I can answer regarding like creating GPTs? I see Bob has a question here. Bob, you're muted there. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, Jennifer triggered me with the original thought. And maybe it's a definition of what original means. If you have this basis from which to work all of this information and the styling of the information and the organizing of it, the stating of it, and that triggers within you a new way of using all of that in a unique way. That maybe it just, I understand what the idea is. Gee, we could just rely on this machine to do our thinking and origination for us. But yet, if we think of it beyond that, saying, okay, here's a start that it gives us, what might we generate from that? And maybe makes our original thinking much broader and much deeper, and thinks, I guess that's my point at this point. There's got to be an opportunity here.
Mm.
And how do we face it rather than fear it? That type of thing. So that's it.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a good point. I think that, personally, just kind of seeing this and working with business owners every single day, I definitely see the importance of utilizing AI to basically more or less delegate some tasks, right? Because there are some things that people might not necessarily know how to do. The AI makes it easier because you can type in ChatGPT, how do I do XYZ, and it'll give you, an output. But I do also see like the potential for, kind of as Jennifer was saying before, where it's like our thoughts automatically become something that we then second guess too much, to the point where like we almost have to always get a second opinion from AI before, we send out like a final product, right? Which definitely creates such a void between creativity and AI creativity, and there's definitely is going to be, some industries that are certainly going to go through some tough pitfalls, right? I think art is definitely one of them. I don't know if you guys remember, but like in 2020, 2021, especially throughout COVID, there was this huge thing called NFTs that all of a sudden blew up, right? And people were buying these NFT Bored Apes for like millions of dollars, right? But to your average person, when you look at a Bored Ape, you're like, well, it's art, right? But really, at the end of the day, how good of art is it? Like, it's very, subject to that person. So it's going to be interesting to kind of see how industries change, but it's so important that I feel as though we have conversations about this type of stuff, because quite literally it is going to shift quite a bit. There's a reason why we go on Amazon every single day, and like we might be looking for a watch on Amazon. Then if we don't mess around and clear our cookies on our web browser, if we hop on Amazon in a couple of weeks, guess what? You're probably going to get some advertisements for some watches. So, but it's AI. So it's just interesting to see kind of how things shift, but it is going to be probably one of the bigger revolutions ever, as far as I'm concerned. And you're saying, Jay, hopefully they can use this to cure diseases they created. We're not going to go down that rabbit hole, but yeah, definitely.
Is it possible that AI, if you can make copyright, is that even possible?
If it can create copyright. So Gina would know a little bit more about the copyright laws than I would specifically. I'm not a lawyer. So I don't want to like speak on any legal advice. I think that's the wise decision. But
yeah, you can't copyright it. So again, with IP, intellectual property, anything created by AI is not subject to that. A human being has to create a patent or a trademark or a copyright. I mean, and that's right now. That's not to say that will never change, but that is it. That is how it is right now.
I appreciate that answer. You always got to be careful, when he gets into those legal questions. So that being said, are there any other questions, comments? I know. Oh, go ahead, Stephen.
I was just gonna say, as a parent with two daughters in high school, I think I'm on board for the very pro AI for my kids to learn and engage and do well, but maybe that's too early or not where it's supposed to be. I know that there's different trains of thought there, but that's where I'm at. They certainly know more than I do, but I'm all for them to using that as much as possible to do as well as possible.
Yeah, I agree with you, Stephen. And I'll be honest with you. I don't know about y'all, but if I were to look at like a fourth grader's homework now in math class, the way that they do division and multiplication and even like, standard addition and subtraction is far different than probably what we were taught. So, if you're trying to help like your daughter, your son, even with like math homework nowadays, it's almost like you got to have a PhD in it, to understand these different types of ways, because they learn about five different, yeah, like you're saying, the new math, literally, it's wild what's out there. But really just having like AI to be able to assist, as we saw in the video before, it'll literally assist you with creating like or helping to solve like a linear equation, right? Which is unbelievable, because I remember back in the day I used to call PBS, WXXI used to have like a show where they used to help people with their homework, and I used to call literally sometimes, because if I ask my parents, they're not going to know, because the things that we're learning are things that they did not learn when they were in school. So
I remember that.
yep.
William, Stephanie has a good question. How can you resolve errors? So if your AI is not behaving the way that you want it to?
Yep. So so I see the question here. So how can you resolve errors with the AI? So like if I made an assistant or something similar and it is giving me bad answers, can I fix that, or do I have to recreate it? So it definitely depends on like what you're utilizing. With ChatGPT, definitely. So if you were to create a GPT, yeah, obviously you can go into like the configure area and literally just change things around. I don't know if you remember, it was kind of asking us like, how do you want to I'm paraphrasing what it said, but essentially what I took from it was, how is the output supposed to be, like friendly, should be direct type of deal. So you can change that type of stuff around for sure.
Just
All right, go ahead, Bob.
Yeah, you just got me thinking about with the kids, and I just wonder if you ask a question of ChatGPT and asked it to give you the answer in cursive, whether it would crash it.
I don't know. That's a good question.
Some kids wouldn't be able to answer it, obviously.
You know what? That's a question and a half. I literally I realized that I think it was a couple of weekends ago. My uncle was talking about that the kids don't learn cursive in school, and I was dumbfounded. So it's a lost language, I guess.
They have to get a stamp for their signature.
No, quite literally, just scribble it. I'm not gonna lie, I scribble my signature too, and everything. It just
Okay, last call for questions for William. You guys were a really great crowd, really engaged, so that
I
makes
do
us
have,
all happy. Yep, go ahead.
I came in a little late. How did you get to this screen right here?
Oh, this screen right here?
Yes, with the how it has the grant writer guide and all that stuff. Because when I go to Chat GPT, is a different screen. It's kind of black screen.
Okay.
It's like,
So you're probably going to like openai.com, like the original. Is that it?
okay, yes.
Okay. All right. And then basically I'm logged in, so this is going to be a little bit different. But let me move some of this stuff out of the way here. So if I go down to products and then ChatGPT login, obviously I would have to fill in my login information, but after I fill in my login information, this should be like the main screen that it shows. and it'll probably, if you have ChatGPT 4.0 or 4 rather, it'll probably automatically revert to 4.0. Either that, if you don't have ChatGPT 4, it'll automatically revert to probably 3.5. Go ahead, Jay.
Hey, good morning, everyone. I know I keep kind of keep referencing like trademarks and logos. Say if you're you could pretty much like say if you take that ideal and then get somebody to recreate it, because like the IP thing, like how's that? Like even if what if you don't use like what if you create an image on top of that? Like you take that image and then you create something and add to that. Would that still be kind of like a violation? Like, is it pretty much using that image any, like in any way? But what if you kind of like recreate the image that you generate? Or when it comes to like AI, is that still against whatever the code or policies or whatever that's going on with copyright?
So again, this is definitely a question I would not be able to answer. Maybe I should have had like a lawyer, be on
Yeah,
this call with me as well. But go ahead, Jennifer.
I mean, I think, I think it just depends if you significantly alter it. But if you just make like one tiny tweak to it, I don't know. Again, like the law has not caught up to reality. So I know these aren't great answers, but that's where we're at. So if you can show that you've significantly changed something, maybe. But right now, I mean, I don't have a good answer for that. That's a question for a lawyer.
Thanks. And to me, trademark is kind of like the next step, right? Like I can create a logo, and usually there's no really rules for that. Like you see a lot of people change their logo all the time, but they don't trademark it. So is it kind of like?
Well, I mean, you don't necessarily have to trademark your logo. I mean, if you want to protect your branding, you should trademark your logo. So that's just, their personal preference. I mean, if they're small, regional, just in the city of Rochester, it may not be necessary. If your business is operating on a national or global scale, you'd want to protect that brand. But again, you can't trademark it if it was created by an AI. So,
Thank you. Thanks for.
Yeah, definitely. I appreciate that answer, Jennifer. And it is kind of like one of those weird limbo periods, just laws have not caught up with this stuff, and it's the reality. So go ahead, Bob.
I just wanted to share something that I did last year. I wrote an article about will AI replace consultants? And so I wrote this original article and got it all edited and that type of thing, ready to roll. And I decided, well, okay, let's see what ChatGPT says about that. So I asked it the same thing: will AI or ChatGPT, whatever it was, replace consultants? And a lot of people talk about the results that they get back on these queries, that they're poor language, or there's misspells and that type of thing, bad grammar. Well, I have to say that it amazed me. It didn't copy mine, obviously. It didn't have that in its database, but it was a very, very well thought out, insightful document that it printed, and there were no misspells, no bad grammar. And it went through it, and at the end it decided that I say it's decided just like it's thinking, right? And what it said at the end was, because of the need for a consultant to look at a broad spectrum of problems and issues and people and whatever might be affecting the situation that they're looking at, that AI at the time, this was again a year ago, would not be able to replace the consultant's ability to do that. So it was kind of interesting, but I was really amazed at the quality of the response. And I know that other folks have done a lot of querying and not been satisfied because it's been, they spelled their name wrong or something, that type of things. But anyhow, I was very impressed. So there is power out there that we should be thinking about taking advantage of. And yes, you have to guard yourself against whatever the dangers are. But there's a lot of usefulness that we can use out there.
I definitely agree with you. I'll say this, like, as far as like the consultants and people being replaced, I don't see it happening anytime like soon. In 100 years, in certain arenas, yeah, for sure. Because I think, we have to definitely take into account the reality of the different landscape of things like transportation are going to change. Obviously, things are moving more or less towards like electric vehicles. California is even right now trying to figure out how to tax or put like a tax on every single mile people drive now, because now people are switched to electric vehicles and they don't want to like pay people for like the tax incentives for having electric vehicles. Things are going to change. And I have a couple of friends right now that are actually working on autonomous aerial vehicles with EHang, right? And so in major cities, there's going to be things like, quite literally drones that come and pick you up and take you from point A to point B, right? So that being said, the reality is transportation along with technology enhancing definitely means that there's going to be a lot more remote work, right? And if things are a lot more remote, unless it's something that requires an extreme level of expertise or knowledge, if AI can do it, you better believe that there is going to be definitely business owners or CEOs out there that are going to be trying to figure out how to solve problems and reduce costs, right? And if the AI is free, it definitely beats, it's the unfortunate reality, but it definitely beats paying someone minimum wage, right? And so that's going to be the reality, unfortunately, but for now, I think we're okay. So yeah, I do appreciate that comment though. All right, Jennifer, I'll yield it to you here.
Yeah, that's all we have time for today, everybody. Again, we will pick this back up in September, so the first Wednesday of each month, a different topic that pertains to small business. And thank you so much for joining us. Have a wonderful summer, and thank you so much to William. This was really, really interesting. So really appreciate your time. So
Thank you, William.
Appreciate you all. Thank you, Lindsay. Thank you, Jennifer.
thank you. All right, bye everybody. Have a great day.
All right, you as well. See ya.
Thanks again.